Hello, everyone. It's Junie checking back in with all of you. I hope all of you are doing well. This is me doing a Horary Astrology Question chart for Stacey Wondra. Stacey Wondra is accused of kidnapping and taking with a total of 4 suspects, and he's one of them, of kidnapping Michael Joseph Vaughan, who was a 5-year-old boy who went missing from his neighborhood in Fruitland, Idaho, in July of 2021. Now, I know this is a very emotional case, and the astrology chart the few astrology charts that I pulled, I do feel like this is extremely emotional. Okay, and it does not matter who I support, who I like, what YouTubers I like, what YouTubers I don't like. That does not matter when you're doing this, okay? I have to be going into this without judgment, and I need to be non-biased. How I feel emotionally about Stacey Wondra and how I feel emotionally about Michael Joseph Vaughan and his family, that can't come into this equation when I'm doing this. I have to be non-biased. Like, if I could just unzip myself and shed my skin and walk into the astrology chart clear-skinned. I cannot have any attachments, and I need to be neutral when I do this, okay? So I know that there are people that support Stacey. I know there are people that support Brandy and the Vaughan family, okay? That right now has to be put aside. I am doing this because I want to give people an idea of the energy that I am seeing in the heavens, okay? It's like if you could take a thermometer and if I could stick it into the Milky Way universe and get a temperature gauge of my question at the moment that I printed out this astrology chart, what the planets were communicating to me when I asked the question. Okay, that's basically it. And then I also pulled a chart for February 16th, 2027, just to get an energy feel on that chart as well. Okay, so again, this is just me trying to give people so they can prepare for the energy that I'm seeing. You don't have to take this as fact. I'm not presenting it to you as fact. That's really not my job to really prove him guilty or not. What my job is to tell you what the energy of the planets is saying. If there is jail time or confinement connected to Stacey Wondra, that's what I need to tell you. Okay? So you can prepare yourself. If it doesn't work out the way that you want, people can pick up the pieces and move on. And if it is working out the way that you want, then hopefully this gives everyone some hope, okay? I'm not doing this to be malicious or disrespectful to anyone, especially the Vaughan family and anyone in the true crime community. I am only here to tell you what the energy says, okay? So let's break it down. Stacey Wondra, I asked the question at night on the last night. I asked the universe, is Stacey Wondra going to be found guilty? And, basically asking what the judge thinks about Stacey Wondra. And I wanted to look at how the judge is feeling about Stacey Wondra. So it's kind of predictive, but it's kind of not. It's just, it's telling you the energy of everyone involved in that courtroom. Okay. So looking at this chart, Stacey Wondra, if you do it the way William Lilly teaches us to do. Now, I've also added asteroids, and I know William Lilly doesn't really use asteroids. And I am also using the planets that were not discovered in the 1600s. William Lilly is an ancient astrologer that was very active in the 1600s, okay? His way is that the accused killer would be, or the kidnapper killer, or the accused, okay? The accused person is in the first house and is connected to the first house AC line. The prosecution would be the 7th house and is connected to the DC line. The judge is looked at from the MC connected to the 10th house. The courthouse is connected to the 9th house. The end of the matter is connected to the IC. The bottom of the chart is the end of the matter and gives us a little bit of insight about how this might turn out. So the moon also tells us about the emotions of the case, the public image of the case, including the MC line also lets us know how the world will see this case. So Stacey Wondra in this chart is being ruled by Taurus. Taurus is connected to Venus. And it's interesting that when I asked this question, that the universe already knows that this person who's being accused is being accused for kidnapping. Taurus is connected to kidnappings. Why? Because Taurus rules possessions. Taurus rules how we value things. And when you take someone, or you take something, or you rob, or you steal something, you remove something and you have it, that is a sign of possession. Okay? And it also puts value on that possession. So in his confession, Stacey Wondra is saying that he did a false confession, but during his confession, he said that Michael was taken for money. And right here, the astrology is letting us know that the accused is in Venus for taking something of value for a possession. The opposed is Scorpio. Our prosecution is in a very powerful sign of Scorpio. And this is a sign that you don't want to really go up against. Now, during William Lilly's time, Pluto was not discovered yet. So we go by the ancient planets. In Horary Astrology, you should always go by the ancient rulers of these signs. The ancient ruler of Scorpio is Mars. So, our prosecution is Mars, and Stacey Wondra is Venus. So, we want to look at where Venus is sitting. We want to see if Venus is in a cadent house. We want to see if he's in a house that will be positive or negative for Stacey. We want to look at the moon because the moon shows the emotions of the case. The moon rules children under 5, children 5 and under. Now, my AC line and my DC is at 3 degrees. The rules for Horary Astrology is that we're not supposed to read a chart 3 degrees and under because it's too soon. And I am well aware that I am reading this chart very early. But it's at 3 degrees, so it's kind of like, it's still readable. Another thing that this chart is telling me, that my moon is void of course. So, on February 16th, 2027, when Stacey is due back in court, the moon will be void of course on that day too. So what does that tell me? When the moon is void of course, it means that she's not connecting. She's not connecting with any other planets. She just is. And that can mean that there can be some delays with the court hearings. There can be some confusion and fog connected to the court proceedings. That is okay. I'm still going to read the chart because I feel like those two, the fact that I'm showing 2 void of course moons during the 2027 and the chart that I pulled last night when the question hit me to ask the question, I think that it is part of my reading and to prepare everyone involved that there could be some delays or confusion with certain things with this court case. So, what is Stacey Wondra's planet doing? Stacey Wondra's planet is in a cadent house. It's in the house of basically misfortune in Horary Astrology. The 10th house is going to show what kind of judge that we have. If you look, it is Saturn. Saturn is the great disciplinarian. He is the father in the sky, and he's the one that disciplines you. So Saturn is opposed Venus on this chart. The 12th house in astrology, for Horary Astrology, for court cases, the 12th house shows, like if a person shows up in the 12th house, it can mean that they are having mental hardship, very emotional, but it also can be, prison time, extreme confinement. So the fact that my judge is opposed Stacey Wondra, and I have that big red line going there, and I also have the Power of Fortune opposed Stacey Wondra, which would be his luck. So if Stacey Wondra had a star witness, or maybe some information that he wanted to bring to light in this court case, that is like his luck. The Power of Fortune, that little circle there, brings him luck. But as you can see, it's in the opposite house of where he is. It's opposing him. So to me, this means that the luck that he wanted is in opposition of him. And it's with the judge there. And it's extreme judgment. Now, our prosecution is also in a cadent house. It is in Mars. So our prosecution is going to focus on the little things. It's in the 3rd house. That's not a very strong house either. The judge Saturn is in its fall in Aries. And the prosecution, who's being ruled by the ancient planet Mars, is also in its fall in the 3rd house there. There's also a huge T-square that involves the judge, Stacey, and the prosecution. And it's going to go down hard on the prosecution. So for me, it's the neighborhood, the communication, a written testimony, our witnesses in the neighborhood. There might be some type of, that it's not as strong as we want it to be. So what I'm going to tell you is this. There is fog. There could expect some delays. Our prosecution overall has justice in its house. Overall, it looks to me better. It also has Nike, which is victorious, the winner in the 7th house. I also have Stacey in a house that rules your mental health, and his everyday routine is restricted. So, to me, in my opinion, it's both don't look as strong as they should be. I think Stacey's going to come out swinging, and I think Stacey's going to come out strong. But even though in the beginning he might come out strong, it doesn't really matter, because he is going to feel the full effects of the judge. And I feel that it's going to hit him hard. That this is a judge that you really don't want to fuck with, because he's ruled by Aries. And this is he's ruled by Capricorn, and he's sitting in a house of isolation. Like he would have no problem being this is a judge that would have no problem using isolation, and could be impulsive. And that, overall, I feel that Stacey is probably going to serve prison time. But that's just my own astrological opinion. Another astrologer could come along and have a completely different opinion than me. This was the chart that I pulled over top of my head, over top of my house, when the question hit me, is Stacey going to serve jail time? This chart, I feel, says that yes, Cancer is at the end of the matter, meaning that this is going to be watched, viewed publicly, and it's going to be extremely emotional. I have that huge kite just flying into Pluto up there, and that is a point of no return, and Pluto is the great leveler. He grinds things up, and I don't feel that someone can get out of this. There's like no reversing from this. There's no way out of this. That Stacey's life with judgment will be transformed. And I feel that this judge is going to have no problem with that. Extreme transformation and having the full power. Full power of law enforcement and the judicial system, with Pluto being there and a huge kite flying into that, in my opinion, is inescapable. Now, I could be wrong, okay? And again, I'm not attacking anyone. I don't want to do that. And I like I said, this is just an astrological opinion. But in my astrological opinion, it does not look good for Stacey. Even on the day of court in 2027, Saturn has not really changed much. Saturn is still coming down hard on Stacey Wondra. All right. In the meantime, please continue to pray for justice and truth, and you know that to expect the unexpected, expect delays. But I believe that overall the outcome is going to be extreme judgment towards Stacey, with all that red going towards him. All right. Blessings, everyone. Take care. Blessed be. Bye-bye now.